What's good? It's your boy, Mixtape Moth, and today I'm going to hit y'all with a classic review of 8Ball and MJG's On Top of the World. Let's get to it. 8Ball and MJG's third album, On Top of the World, turned 25 years old on November 1st of this year. Today, I wanted to highlight this album because it is a Southern rap classic and a classic album in general that just doesn't get enough praise. With all the big name album releases from 1995 like Only Built for Cuban Links, Liquid Sword, Infamous, Soul Food, and Dog Pound, it just got overlooked, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't a standout body of work. I would actually put this album on the same level as the above mentioned classics. It was just as impactful on my life in the 90s as albums like The Infamous and Only Built for Cuban Links. What I loved about the duo is that they gave you that Southern gangster music with a message. There was always storytelling involved and cautionary tales that made you think. They gave you lyrical Southern rap with a splash of that playlistic funk. But let's get right into this album. It's 15 tracks and 1 hour and 13 minutes. It's a little long now that I think about it, but I felt it never dragged on. Let's take a look at this epic cover art for a second. It's compliments of pen and pixel graphics. They were straight out of Houston, Texas. This album cover is probably one of my top 5 favorite pen and pixel covers. It's just the whole vibe. You see Tony Draper, the CEO of Suave House, at the top with the pool stick, and 8Ball and MJG posted by the Porsche. The color schemes in this was so dope. When we look at the production, all the beats were handled by T-Mix, who was an extremely underrated producer for the Suave House label. There is a distinct sound and feeling that you get from T-Mix Productions, a blend of Memphis and Houston sounds, as well as some G-Funk thrown into the mix. Sonically, this project is filled with that futuristic Southern funk. But with that being said, let me hit y'all with this track by track breakdown. The intro just sets the tone. It's a dark and smooth beat that just lets you know that we'll be coming with some hard street shit. Track 2, Pimp in My Own Rhyme, is a hard hitting banger. I love the heavy G-Funk synthesizer. The duo is giving you high energy flows with a lot of heavy pimp talk. They are attacking the mic in a brutal fashion. It's a strong opening track for sure. I think the chorus was pretty iconic in Southern rap. I'm a pimp in my own fucking rhyme. Pimp in my own fucking rhyme. Yes, I'm. Track 3, What Can I Do, is a cautionary tale about the street life. It has a hood classic feel. The beat definitely gave me strong Rap-A-Lot vibes. This one is very deep and relatable. If you've ever felt trapped in the game, in street life, or whatever your situation may have been, legal or illegal, the question remains, what can I do to get out the game? They paint a real and truthful picture of the consequences of that life. Nothing glamorous, rather they give you the real deal. 8Ball states, making fast money hook me like nicotine. This on the street shit is deeper than a submarine. One day I want to have a wife and live twice as nice. Afraid I'm gonna lose my life before I get it right. MJG talks about getting busted and the shame that it caused his family. They looked at my family like we was all unlegit. The block was shocked because my folks were so nice, but the spot was hot because they son led a street life. It's deep. You got to think about the toll that life can take on your family. On the following song, For Real, they break down what makes them real in an industry filled with fakes. They also address the criticism they receive from making gangster music. 8Ball states, instead of sweating me, fool, sweat Chuck D, because I've been true to play as shit since 83. I come from Tennessee and love drinking Hennessy. Peace to KRS, but here's my philosophy. I guess at that particular time, the conscious folks were giving 8Ball and MJG a hard time, but 8Ball and MJG were letting the haters know that conscious music doesn't have to have a certain look or come from a certain region. After this, we have Funk Mission, which is probably the most powerful anti-drug record I've ever heard. I mean, it's not completely anti-drug, as they make it pretty clear of their love for weed, but it's an anti-cocaine record. I love the horns mixed with the synthesizer. The combo made the beat something special. 8Ball gives us a interesting perspective on addiction, but in my neighborhood I seen something hella drastic. It was tragic. It left the victim in a casket. Now let me take y'all back to some time in the 70s when old heads used to snort like we smoke weed. That shit was hella cool then, now, but let's take another look. Instead of powder packs, now you need your shit cooked. I mean, think about that for a second. The 70s movies with the fly pimps snorting lines that actually led to some of those individuals becoming hardcore junkies. It makes you think about today's artists who dabble in pills and lean. They aren't even aware of the addiction that they are developing. Then we have Kick That Shit, which I looked at as a fun and funky record. It kind of broke up the heaviness of the last few records. On here, they are experimenting with a different flow. I dig the upbeat jazz and funk production. It's a sample, yet it gives off that live instrumentation feel. What comes after is their classic single, Friend or Foe. It was a commercial song with a message. This had a lot of traction on the radio. I love the smooth G-Funk instrumental. There is somewhat of a West Coast feel to this. This had E40, Mac Mall, and Big Mike. Everyone came through with some passionate and heartfelt verses. This was a song that I feel a lot of people could relate to because it deals with some real shit, like who can you trust? How can you distinguish your true friend from a foe? I thought everyone had dope verses, but Big Mike and MJG's definitely stood out the most. This was a timeless radio single. The following song, Hand of the Devil, is a concept record that deals with temptation and greed. 8Ball and MJG give us some vivid storytelling about a robbery that took place. There's like a spiritual battle going on. So basically it's about people getting caught up, wanting to improve their financial situation so badly that they risk their lives for the riches. It has an eerie backdrop and a demonic voice on the hook, but this was some stellar storytelling from 8Ball and MJG. Up next is Top of the World, which is a feel-good record about their come up. They toast to their success at this point in their career. They are no longer stuck in Orange Mound 10 toes down. The beat is very luxurious with some smooth Roger Troutman like vocals on the hook. You know, that old auto-tune, I mean the good kind from the 90s. This track is just dripping with that smooth playlistic funk. It's a total vibe. One of my favorite upbeat songs from the album. It is guaranteed to make you feel like you were in your bag. 8Ball states, made a lot of cheese. People say I changed, but if you thinking this, you never knew me from the gate, man. So this is another one of those iconic Southern rap lines. I've heard it scratched into other people's songs before. Right after this is What Do You See? It's a track where they introduce the female group, the Knuckleheads, who were on Suave House. There's a lot of fly pimp talk on this record. MJG refers to himself as the break a bitch scholar, while 8Ball declares, when I open up my mouth, you can hear the South packing guns, stacking funds, fuck selling out. Next up is In the Line of Duty, where the duo talks about cops abusing their power. They speak on being unfairly targeted and harassed for being black. There's a lot of dope social commentary on this one. The tension between the police and the black community is nothing new, but you would think that the following 8Ball quote could be from right now with just how well it resonates. He states, I'm supposed to love America, but America don't love me. A son of a slave of the father of this country. Freedom wasn't meant to be a luxury for you and I. Freedom came after many influential people died. All in My Mind is another Suave House posse cut, this time featuring South Circle, who consisted of Mr. Mike and DJ Thorough. I've always felt that Mr. Mike was definitely the most underrated member of the Suave House clique. There's a lot of dope flows and great rapping on this one. You will hear MJG's 25 lighters on the dresser, yes sir, line that would later on influence another classic song in the South, 25 Lighters by Little Kiki. The track coming up really sheds more light on the group's trials and tribulations, the drama that they had to go through in order to come up in this rap shit. 8Ball reveals that they were in the streets heavy around the time that their debut album, Coming Out Hard, had dropped. This is an original Thug motivation track way before Jeezy. I like this eerie instrumental. It's dark sonically, but the song is very motivational since they overcame all odds. Right after this was their smash single, Space Age Pimpin. This, for me, is a go-to song whenever I want to hear some smooth player shit. The beat was so wavy and futuristic. It had that space age funk for real. This was a huge single and probably their most famous song. It's a straight up vibe. The album closes out with the banger Break 'Em Off. They really rapped aggressively on this, almost like they had something to prove. A song like this, to me, is proof that they could go bar for bar with any of the nicest New York rappers. The beat was hard as nails, and the chorus will get you hype enough to want to fight someone. 8Ball states, all respect to the West, big up to the East, South Side represent, blowing up like yeast. Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee, precisely. Southern brothers that'll break your ass off politely. 8Ball was a problem, man. So there you have it. On Top of the World, 25 years later, it still sounds amazing. You can see how influential it was on a lot of Southern rappers. Like I said earlier, the duo is severely underrated, and individually I think that 8Ball should be talked about in the same light as Scarface. But yeah, check out this overlooked classic from 1995 if you haven't. This was lyrical and conscious trap music for its time. Let me know what you thought about this album in the comment section below. How did this album impact you? What were your favorite songs? Let me know what I should check out next. It's your boy, Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. 8Ball and MJG, on top of the world, one.